Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Family Empire Houston, Season 1, Episode 6. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know now. You guys, I've said it here before. I'm going to say it again for people who've never heard me say it. There is a lot that I do not say on my reviews about my opinions about life and certain things going on in the world, certain things about women, maybe even certain things about men, kids, all of that. There are some conversations I keep to myself just because I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to be one of those channels, okay? And by one of those channels, that's up to your interpretation. But I'm going to let you know that on today, I am prepared to lose whatever I lose. I'm prepared because I got some things to say. I have some things to get off my chest. I may even be doing a little bit of projecting. Okay, God is not through with me yet. But the way that things went on this episode really irritated me. I am so tired. Y'all know I don't like kids, right? I'm not a kid person. I think I've said that on here before. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings who have children. I'm just not a child person, okay? And I've known that since I was about 15. So maybe younger than that. So I've never really been one for kids. But one of the reasons that I knew I wasn't sold on being a parent is because I knew early on in life, I helped raise my siblings. From the age of 12, I was helping to raise my siblings, right? Because they're I was a parentified child. I'll just leave it like that. And I'm going to say that from that point on, I realized that when you have children, it is an ultimate sacrifice. The sacrifice is yours to make because you need to be doing everything to pour into these children and make them responsible citizens of society. That's how I've always looked at it. It's how I always will. I don't believe in having children for your own ego. I don't believe in having children for your healing and so you can feel love. I think all of that is selfish. If those are your reasons for having kids or because you want somebody to help you in old age, I think all of those reasons are selfish. Always have, always will. Nobody will convince me otherwise. So when I watched this episode and I watched some of the carrying on, I realized why I get so irritated when I meet people who have decided that they was just going to do what they want to do when it came to parenting. Like their feelings were more important than that child's. Never liked it, never will. And I'm prepared to argue today. Let's get to the review. Now, before I proceed to go in, I do want to say, I want to clear this up. I'm not talking about parents who parented from where they could and they realized where they were lacking. They've made amends with their children. They've talked to their children. They've realized their mistakes. They've tried to, they've shown some type of not guilt. That's not the word I'm looking for, but they've shown something to show like, I really was parenting you from a stage where I was at, and that stage was not right. I'm not talking about them parents. I'm talking about what about me? What about me? I didn't know. What you want me to say? I'm talking about those. So I just want to make that clear, and we're going to keep it going. So the episode actually picked up where it left off, where everybody was going back and forth about the plans for the land and some of the businesses. Oscarine was tired. Do you hear me? She got to clapping them hands like, don't say nothing else. All right? I don't want to talk about it no more. And so Nikki stands up and says, on behalf of my client, we're going to shut all of this down. We not finna talk about none of this no more. Now, I'm actually about to jump to another part of the episode because I feel like it aligns. Nikki meets up with Grandma Oscarine, which praise God for Grandma. She driving, she moving around good. God, I pray you please continue to keep my body well, please. But they're getting ready. The event center, they got like 3 repasses coming up this week. So they're getting stuff ready. And Nikki says that she really didn't appreciate how that group conversation went. And Grandma Oscarine, she really just ready to tie this whole thing up. Like, yeah, that's nice. Jermisha gonna be the project manager, which I forgot to mention that last week. I said, Nicole, how you gonna make Jermisha the project manager knowing that she's trying to pull away from doing so much on that end, the admin. She want to get into the luxury brand just like you. You want to be the only one that's luxury, Nicole? But anyway, back to this. Grandma Oscarine is really tired of all of this. She don't want her kids arguing, and she about to get the land ready for sale, because I don't think nobody should be involved in it at this point. And Auntie Nikki just looking like, well, dang, they gonna be upset. Yeah, Auntie Nikki. But on behalf of your client, I would advise you to go tell them that Mama getting the land ready for sale. All right, I just took you back in time because it made sense. That's the last time we're going to see Grandma Oscarine in this episode. Let me take y'all back to the hoedown. So, Joy and Keisha have a conversation. This is Aunt Joy. This is Nicole. And I forget the other sister's name, Miosha, the other daughter. All right? She pulled Keisha to the side. Keisha did not pull her to the side. I just want to point that out. She wants to know, are you clear on everything, or do you still need some help, seeing the bigger picture? And Keisha says that she ain't really clear on everything. Like, I just felt like there was a lot of animosity coming from you. There was a lot of negativity, and I just want to know, where was that coming from? Like, what happened? And she says that there was some other things going on, her and the daddy. They had things they needed to work out. When I found out that he had another child, I said, we need to get a blood test. We got the blood test. Fine. What I didn't like, and where my negativity came from, was about people getting in my business. I don't like people getting in my business. I was like, okay, where we going with this? And the person who was getting in my business, one of the sisters, really should have been minding their own business, because their husband had their own outside child. And they should have been worried about his outside children and their marriage. Now, does this sound like a general statement to y'all? Don't sound like one to me. It sounds specific to me. Keisha don't name names in the confessionals, but I think we all kind of gathered that it was Auntie Jackie, because Keisha said it was the person who made her feel welcome, and that was Jackie. That's Jamisha's and Jaquita's mama, okay? So they kind of bypassed that, and Keisha's just like, well, even if that was the case, why was I feeling it? Like, I don't understand how it got my way. Now, around this time that they going back and forth, and they not arguing, y'all. Nobody is loud. I feel like they're both doing a good job of speaking to each other without getting angry. They actually are. You can tell Keisha's frustrated, and you can tell Joy is irritated as well, but nothing's getting out of hand. At this point, Nicole comes over and her sister, and now they're getting in the conversation. I wish that they would have been gone when this conversation was happening. By the time they get in it, Keisha's explaining what they've been talking about. She's also explaining that there was some problems with another family member, and that family member being in her business. And she was just like, but regardless of what was going on, it shouldn't have been felt between myself and my sisters, because now we're affected, and that wasn't fair to us. Like, that hurt us, that hurt our relationship. And Joy was like, I was hurt too. We was all hurt. Everybody was hurt. And Keisha, you could tell her face was kind of like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna explain to y'all, and then I'm gonna talk about how I feel about it. So when Keisha was just like, I understand that, but the kids come first. Like, what y'all had going on shouldn't have been. And then here come Nicole. Well, I disagree with that, because my mama didn't ask for the situation. My mama was hurt too. My mama didn't ask for that. The conversation is pretty much over after that. But then Keisha says, well, yeah, she didn't, but she stayed. I don't think anybody was expecting Keisha to say that. And the conversation was definitely over after that, but it was more like it to be continued. I have some feelings. I gotta woo side out. It is so hilarious to me that everybody's telling Keisha she needs to get over it so they can move on, when nobody else is over it. Nobody else is over it. They're over talking about it. They're over thinking about it. But nobody else is over how they feel about the situation either. I found that interesting. Which way do I want to go? I got a couple of points to make. I'm going to try to make it quick, but it's probably not going to be quick. First of all, Keisha, you're not going to find your healing here. You're not going to find your healing amongst these women. And by these women, I mean Joy, Nicole, and probably the other sister too. You're not going to find your healing there. I'm sorry. I know you want it with your dad either. You're not going to find it. You ain't going to find no healing amongst people who need healing themselves. You're not going to find it. You're not, especially when their healing is around the same situation. I believe that you should work with a therapist on your own. I do not believe that you should be going to group therapy with your sisters. That's just my opinion. I believe you should work through it on your own. And I believe that to nurture that childhood wound of rejection that you're feeling, because I think that's what's going on, to nurture that, I think that you should continue to rest in the comfort you have with your Aunt Jackie and with your cousins. Because to me, she seems more like siblings with Jaquita and Jermisha than anybody. And even though those are not your sisters, and even though that's not your mother, nobody is ever going to replace your mom. That's the first thing. So that grief that you're experiencing in conjunction with the rejection that you're experiencing as well, right? I'm sure the grief probably brought it to the surface, though, because now you really don't have your anchor. I think that you should try to find some comfort in Auntie Jackie. She seems to be open to it. I think that you should continue to express to her how you feel within reason. And I think you should tell her, like, I feel a lot of rejection when it comes to that part of my family. And I'm working on healing that. And I know this sounds like a you situation, but sometimes when you're trying to heal like a mother wound or a father wound, a trauma therapist may suggest to you, like, you get with the person who feels the most motherly to you, and then they can help you and assist you in nurturing that inner child that was in. Ultimately, you got to do it, really. But they can really help be your support through it. Tell her how you feeling and tell her, like, I'm working on really nurturing and healing that part of me, but it would be great to have y'all support and continue to be around y'all. And that's how I would handle it. You're not going to find healing amongst these women, though. Second, I believe that I wish Joy and Keisha could have had this conversation without Nicole and the daughter, because now I'm seeing, I said it first episode, it wouldn't surprise me if Nicole harbored some of the same resentment that her mother felt over being cheated on. And I was right. The way that Nicole is protective, I'm protective over my mother too. But if my mama having a conversation, I'm not finna jump in and feel the need to defend her. My mama's grown and my mama can hold her own. She do not need me. Only time I'm jumping in is if it's a fight. And now I'm calling the police. Baby, I don't fight. Okay? So I understood why Nicole, but her jumping in being like, oh, I don't agree with that. My mama was hurt too. It don't matter if you agree or not. This is how I feel, and this is the conversation that I'm having with your mother, who pulled me to the side. I didn't pull her to the side. So it wouldn't surprise me if Nicole, especially being the oldest, especially being the pretty much ghetto twins with Keisha, carried some of that resentment as well. You can't tell me she didn't hear conversations. You can't tell me things weren't said. Things were said. Now, Joy being hurt, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm eating too. Joy being hurt, I understand it. You know, you experienced this man was cheating on you. He done had a baby right around the time that your baby was born. Like, this is a lot to have to deal with. Understandable. So I'm not saying that she didn't have hurt. She definitely had it. And it's unrealistic to think that it wouldn't affect the other child. Like, all of the stuff going on, of course it's going to affect the children. It is. It's unrealistic to think, as a grown woman, I now see that that's going to happen. Unless everybody is 100% copacetic, and that usually doesn't happen, then it is going to affect the children. So I understand Joyce had experienced some hurt, and so did everybody else. But the children didn't ask to be in this situation. At some point, y'all adults, y'all asked. And that's what I was talking about earlier, when I don't like a lot of ego and selfishness amongst adults when it comes to children. And sometimes adults don't realize they're doing it because they're in so much pain themselves. But I don't appreciate that. When you decided that you were going to continue to be with Bubba, even after you knew that there was another child, you signed up for everything that was coming along with him. And so even though those things hurt you, you went ahead and sat in it. Now, granted, maybe because it could have been for financial reasons. It could have been because you already had a baby by this man. You didn't want to be with no other man. It could have been for various reasons. I don't know your reasons. I just know you did it. And once you do it, you have to live in the midst of those decisions that you make as a grown person. Okay? Keisha was not a grown person. Nicole was not a grown person. Mimi, I'm going to call her Mimi because I can't never remember the other sister's name. Not a grown person. So as much as you can, don't let the decisions that the adults are making affect those children. As much as you can. And I get it. I got to welcome this girl up in my house, and you done had a baby by this other woman, and now you want me to be taking care of her because you ain't finna tell me that Bubba was taking care of no kids. He wasn't. That was going to be on Joy to do. And I think that's why she was so irritated and so mad. Because if you bring that little girl over here, I'm going to be the one having to take care of her when I wasn't the one that created her. That sounds like a little bit of what's going on. But when you sit in it with a man, especially when you know what kind of man this is, you sit in his consequences as well. So that's just what that is. I was glad Keisha actually said that. I got other points to make. I'm not done. Now, Jaquita, I need you to get some more decorum about yourself. So, Jaquita and Chris invite Caramel and Keisha out. They're going to have some food. They're going to play some games. Because she don't know much about Caramel. Other than her being a stripper, if she make Keisha happy, then it's all right with me. Always got to be shady. So she ended up asking them, y'all used to like the pole, right? And I just want to know, when did that change? Like, when did y'all switch it up from pole to, like, when did y'all stop liking it? And Caramel was just like, oh, it ain't really about me not liking it. It's the fact that I just switched from real to plastic. I still like the pole. I said, okay, Caramel. Jaquita trying to embarrass somebody, not embarrass, but you can tell she liked to just ask some outlandish questions, and Caramel got outlandish right back. She did it very well. I was glad. I said, you know what, baby, you going to fit in this family real nice. Real nice. You're going to be okay. So then after that, they talk about the conversation that happened between Joy and Keisha. And y'all know Keisha wasted no time letting Jaquita know, well, you know, she basically said that she was mad at somebody in the family who really needed to be minding their business and their marriage and worried about the outside children their husband was having. And Jaquita was just like, oh, is she talking about my mama? And so Keisha said, well, you know, I don't know. You know she was talking about Auntie Jackie. So Jaquita is just like, I bet not. I'm going to tell. So she tells Jamisha. And then she is talking about how all of that shouldn't matter. And Chris had another child when they got together. Well, the difference is Chris had a child prior to y'all getting together. This child happened in the midst of both of the relationships. So it's a little bit different. Like I said, I don't blame Joy for having the feelings. I don't really blame Joy, quote unquote, for anything. I don't blame her for having the feelings. But if she treated Keisha a certain type of way, unacceptable. Because what you stay with the man for? And if you laid up under a man that was a deadbeat and had a second daughter by him, child, please. Child, please. I will never for the life of me understand a woman who lay up under a deadbeat and say, well, that's not my child. It's not my responsibility. You know, I can't force him to do it. But you having kids with him? You laying with this nigga every night? That seem good to you? And don't try to do the job for him. Don't try to do, because that's a thankless job. And the children know. Like, I ain't gonna speak too much of my own situation, but I'm gonna just say I know who did what. And I already had a mother. So I didn't need nobody being no substitute father that was a mother. And I'll just leave it like that. Honey child, Jamisha picked that ball up from Jaquita and said, I'm gonna tell. So they peeling crawfish, and not peeling crawfish. They peeling shrimp. They getting ready for the shrimp boil. They seasoning. They getting stuff ready. This warmed my heart. I just love to see women getting together and, you know, chit-chatting and cooking and getting all of that. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of being a kid. So anyway, Jamisha told. She told what happened. She told what was said. And Jackie was just like, oh, she was talking about me. I was the only one married at the time. So yeah, she was talking about me. She said, I wasn't trying to get in their business. My husband also had an outside child. And as soon as I found out that child was around, that I was bringing him around, he was doing stuff with his sisters. He was in family for all the things. He was with his siblings and his cousins. I wanted to do the same thing for Keisha that I had done with my stepson, essentially. And since I was the only one with little kids, of course, she came to my house. Like, what? What was wrong with that? And Auntie Charlotte, I believe that's who was sitting beside her, was just like, if she gonna be mad at somebody, be mad at all of us. Don't be mad at Jackie. Jackie the nicest one. Shoot, I'm the one you need to be worried about. But she was like, if she gonna be mad at anybody, she could be mad at me. Oh, I mean, not mad at anybody. She could be mad at all of us. She don't need to be mad at nobody, because we all accepted Keisha. We all wanted that to happen. And to be quite honest, Bubba dropped the ball. I said, hallelujah. At least one of the sisters, and I think all of them do, got some sense. They were all disappointed in Bubba, but she was the one that was the most vocal about it, and I really appreciate it, because this entire time that these conversations have been going on, the father has been brought up very little. And I, for one, have got to say, y'all, I would not be me if I didn't say this. I am really tired of us acting like men go from cradle to grave. Like, they a baby all their life and then they die. Like, I just don't understand why we talk about them as if they have no emotional capacity. They don't have no discipline. They don't understand what child rearing takes. They don't understand what they supposed to do. The women in their life, all the aunties had to band together to get this whole situation right with Keisha. That don't make no sense. And Auntie Charlotte said it. We weren't raised that way. So for Bubba to drop the ball like that after the childhood we had, that didn't make no sense to us. And I'm glad she said it. He just didn't want to do it. For whatever reason, he didn't deem it important. He didn't want to do it. I don't know if Joy was in his ear or not. I don't even want to put her in it. Because if you want to do for your children, you're going to do for your children. And they should absolutely come first. You was out there big dicking and putting it where you wanted to put it. You're going to have to take care of your responsibilities. If not, the condoms was available, I think, still. Vasectomies was available as well. You know, y'all talk to us all the time about how we got to make better decisions. We should. And listen, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. You know, I'll be the first to tell you, I want all women to make better decisions. I don't believe but about 15% of men even deserve children. The rest need to die out so we can start anew. Unpopular opinion, I said I was ready to lose today, and I meant it. There are not a lot of men who understand the responsibility, the love, the care, the nurturing that it takes to have a relationship with a child and raise them well. They are not games. They are not your legacy, as you like to say. They are your lineage. You are the one that provides the legacy for them. You don't just pop seeds in somebody and say, now I got a legacy. That's not how it works. You provide the legacy. You provide something that's supposed to be carried on. I'm tired. And I don't think a lot of people deserve children. And I do not understand the amount of women giving men children who truly don't deserve them and have the nerve to give it to them twice. Or have the nerve to let them have a baby by somebody else and give them the third child. The third mama? I wish the hell I would. And if you feel judged, I'm sorry. Okay, I am sorry. I am not trying to judge your life. I'm just saying, now that it's a brand new day, let's teach everybody got to make better decisions. Everybody. I'm off my soapbox. I'm back to the family. Y'all, they done tore up the auntie right there with the hair. What is that? Is that Auntie Cheryl? Baby, she ain't like none of it. She was just like, I just don't like this. And, you know, Daddy was about family. And it's not right. It's not right. I felt bad for y'all. Don't do y'all auntie like this. So in this scene, Jermisha is meeting with the Sheltons because they put kind of a plan together about the neighborhood and the homes they trying to build. Long story short, y'all, Jermisha find out that if they do all this building and selling of the homes, they gonna break even. And she was just like, I can't present this to my money grubbing G2 people or G1s, but not she didn't say money grubbing. But you know, the money got to be right. So Jermisha is just like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. But the Sheltons tell her, we looking at long-term growth. Like if we rent out some of these properties, then y'all gonna continue to collect money. It's not just this. There's more that can be done. But you go have to sell them on the legacy. See if you can sell them on the legacy. That's what Jermisha's husband ended up telling her. See if you can sell them on legacy. But I don't know, child. But anyway, they getting ready for a crawfish boil that they having at Jermisha's house because her house done became Big Mama headquarters. I said, girl, it's always one. After the grandma kind of get done with all that cooking, y'all know Oscarine probably don't cook no more, and she kind of turn it over to the kids. That's when somebody's house become the one. It's usually, you know, a grandchild first, and then the great-grands start coming in. But I guess they skipped all of that when it come to the order. Don't matter when it come to who house we having stuff over. I would say in my family, I can see the order starting to shift already. I think eventually we'll probably start having stuff at my mom's house once my grandma stops. Right now, we always at my grandma's. Now, as far as the grandchildren overall, my cousin Beauvais Yeah, she solidified Big Mama status for me in my eyes. We go to Beauvais for so many things, and she will plan all the larger family gatherings. And my mom is the host. My mom is like, my mom is like almost like a court jester. Like, she just running around making everybody laugh. She don't really help in none of the plans, but she gonna show up and she gonna make sure everybody have a good time. That's her role. Now we see Jermisha and Jaquita plotting in the background because they got to figure out when we going to have this conversation. We going to have it right now. Grandma not here, and I do think that's a good time to have it because don't upset Grandma with all of this, right? So they decided to have a conversation again about what was said between Joy and Keisha, but now it's done got back to everybody else. So I don't even know who said it first, if it was Jaquita or Jermisha or Keisha. But either way, it gets brought out that you were saying that you ain't like people. Oh, Keisha said it. In your business, and the person in your business should have been minding their own household, their own marriage, because they also had an outside child. And no, Keisha didn't say the outside child part. She just said they should have been minding their own business and their own marriage. Here come the other sister. I mean, well, that's general. Y'all, look, I understand y'all love y'all mama. But sometimes, and see, this is why I'm glad I love my mama. I'm gonna ride for my mama all the way to the end. I ain't never gonna let nobody pounce or attack my mama. But if there's a grievance to be had with my mother, address it with her. Address it with her. I'm only gonna step in if it get out of hand because my mama can handle herself. And Keisha wasn't getting disrespectful. And Joy is just like, no, that is what I said. So it's fine. She already calling her daughters off because they about to get it going. And I get it. You love your mama, rightfully so. But wasn't nobody coming for her. That's what she said. So Jackie speaks up and was like, listen, I wasn't trying to get in your business. I came to get my niece because I didn't want my niece. I wanted my niece to experience the same love that all the other kids was getting to experience. The same love that I received from my mother and my father. I wanted her to feel that too. So I went and got her because Bubba wasn't doing what he had to do. I went and got her, and I didn't worry about bringing, this is what she slid in, y'all. Jaquita gets some of her slide-ins from my mama. Jackie said, and no, I didn't never worry about her coming over there. I didn't bring her over to your house because she wasn't allowed over there. And I believe the camera did not pan to her, but it sounded like Nicole asked, why wasn't she allowed to come over? It either was Nicole or maybe Jermisha because it was somebody with a lower tone in their voice. And this is when Joy starts getting upset. And this is why I'm telling you, Keisha, you're not going to find healing amongst these people. Because Joy, as much as she talking about I was hurt, no, she's still hurt. Talking about me and Bubba had things that we had to work out. And until we worked them out, no, she wasn't coming over there. Don't get defensive. Don't get mad. Don't get loud. I know I'm getting loud, but don't get loud. That's what you did. That's what you and Bubba participated in. Y'all participated in her not coming over there. Y'all participated in her not being welcome into your household. You did it, and I would respect. It ain't nothing more. I respect honesty. I always respect realness. I love a straightforward, straight off the cuff type of person. I would respect Joy so much more if she said, you know what, your daddy had pissed me off with all of that. He knew we had a plan. He knew we was going to be together. I don't even know where your mama came from. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. I was mad, but none of it should have ever trickled down to you. You absolutely right. But I really would love if you and your sisters could move on. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me because I already did what I did. And I may have not been right for that. I would respect it so much more. Ain't nobody asking you to change the past. We asking you to acknowledge what the hell you did. But she not going to do that. She just going to keep on being irritated. Now you done tossed it over to the aunties and Jackie and everybody else. No. I was irritated with Bubba. Bubba wasn't doing what he had to do. And I wasn't stepping up and doing nothing because it wasn't my child and I was irritated. I respect it so much more. Where's Bubba's ass at? Because why did he make it okay for his child not to be welcome into the home that he shared with his other daughters? But we know we're not going to get no answers out of Bubba because we know Bubba don't care. If Bubba cared, Keisha would be going to her daddy and she wouldn't be trying to take this up with all these women in this family who are really not healed enough to give her anything that she needs. It's really pissing me off. It's pissing me off. But I can't be too. I'm irritated with Joy. But I really can't be. I can't be madder at her than I am at the one who had the child, who didn't really try to make no type of moves. Let his sisters do everything. And I want to know right now today, what y'all doing for Bubba? Because I got a feeling this is still going on. Y'all still probably doing stuff for him, making excuses for him, got all the carrying on. Look, I done told my family plenty of times, I don't care who it is. I will throw a member of my family $1 on the street if they ain't doing what they got to do. Baby, I will not open my doors, especially not to no grown-ass man that ain't handling his business. Anyway, y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm done because they're going to pick up with this later. I'm done with this. Have a good Saturday.